Hey, how's it going everyone? I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. In this video, we are going to go over the spells for the tank archetype in Ashes of Creation. There are over 20 spells here to go over, and if this video helps you out at all, then help me out by hitting the like button. Also, I have started streaming over on Twitch recently, and the streams are always exciting and action-packed, and I will be streaming Ashes of Creation to no end when it finally comes out. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, then be sure to go drop a follow on the channel. The link will be on the screen and in the description, but let's cut this plug and get right into the tank spells. Same as all of the other archetype spell videos that I have done, check them out if you haven't already. I do not know at which level these spells are unlocked, and this game is still in development, so all of these spells are subject to change. But with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and start off with Absorb Bubble. Absorb Bubble at rank 1 will absorb a fixed amount of damage, and then it will deal that damage back to nearby targets. Rank 2 increases the duration of the buff, and rank 3 will add a thorn damage while the absorb is active. Block is the first passive ability for tanks that we are going over, and at rank 1 it will increase your block percentage. At rank 2 it will further increase your block percentage, and at rank 3 it will also give you a chance to deal weapon damage on a successful block. Bulwark is next on the list, and rank 1 will strike your target and increase your block chance. This will also generate additional threat for your character, and so I am actually having a really hard time figuring out exactly what they mean by threat. Let me know down in the comments if you guys know what they mean by threat and hate, but threat is referenced a lot for tanks, and I'm guessing threat will be what determines whether or not your character is being targeted by PvE. And as a tank, you want to have a high threat in order to be pulling all of the mobs properly, but that is just an absolute guess. But rank 2 of Bulwark will have its damage, duration, and block chance increased, while rank 3 is the same and just increases the overall power of the spell. Cover is next, and at rank 1 you will target a friendly player to absorb 50% of their incoming damage for 6 seconds. At rank 2 the damage that is redirected is increased, and at rank 3 it gives the target a damage reduction buff for the entire duration. This damage reduction buff will apply to the tank as well as the targeted ally. Crowd Control Break is another spell that tanks will have, and this one will do exactly as its name states, and it will break crowd control effects such as root, snare, and stun. At rank 2 it will also increase your resistance to crowd control effects, and at rank 3 you will gain focus for each of the crowd control effects that are cleared. Hatred is another spell which at rank 1 will be a spell that targets someone and adds hate to them. Rank 2 will add a forced target lock to the target, and rank 3 will add a hate over time per tick effect to the target. Heavy Armor is another passive that tanks have, and at rank 1 it will increase the armor given by heavy armor. Rank 2 it will further increase that armor, and at rank 3 each piece of the armor worn will give a health percentage bonus to the tank. Javelin is another spell on the list, and at rank 1 Javelin will pull your target to your location. Rank 2 will increase the damage and pull up to 3 targets, and at rank 3 it will have its damage increased further, and it will now pull up to 5 targets. This is actually going to be very useful in PvE situations for the tank class. But moving on to Lacerate, which is the next spell on the list, and at rank 1 it will slash your target, dealing instant damage as well as causing a bleed effect on the target. This spell will also generate additional threat. Rank 2 will give it increased damage, and if the target is bleeding from a previous Lacerate spell, it will then explode the remaining bleed damage as instant damage. At rank 3 Lacerate will again have its damage increased. Lob Weapons is next, and at rank 1 it will throw your weapons at a target and it will generate additional threat for you. Rank 2 will increase the damage and bounce up to 2 additional targets, and rank 3 for Lob Weapon will have increased damage and bounce up to 4 additional targets. And upon reaching the final target, the weapon will explode, causing an extra area of effect damage. Alright, so I know that I have just been running through these spells up to this point, but that is just mainly because I've never actually been a fan of playing the tank class. But Right now, I have to be entirely honest here and say that these tank abilities sound really, really good, and it's genuinely getting harder and harder for me to decide which archetype that I want to play as the further we get into this series. Anyways, moving on into our next spell, which is Longsword Combo. Longsword Combo rank 1 will target an enemy and use your sword and shield to strike them with multiple blows. This is the tank's weapon spell, which will power up the focus of the player, focus being used to cast ultimate abilities, which we'll go over later. But next on the list is Myrmidon's Fury. I probably botched that name, but Myrmidon's Fury rank 1 will strike your target and increase your damage mitigation. This will, of course, generate additional threat, and at rank 2 you will have increased damage, increased duration, and increased mitigation. Rank 3 is the same, and it just increases everything overall. So personally, I don't mind the rank 2 and the rank 3 just being number buffs, but honestly, I feel like these are just effects that are there as filler effects right now until something else gets put in its place. And I say this because every other class that we have gone over so far, aside from the clerics really, have really fleshed out rank 2 and rank 3 changes to the abilities. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if this spell, along with the other spells, are reworked before launch, but let's move on into the next spell, which is Onslaught. Onslaught rank 1 will charge your target and provide you with a small damage absorbing shield. Rank 2 will have its damage and shielding increased and will also knock down the target, and rank 3 will again increase the damage and shielding, but it will also knock targets that are along the charge path. Perception is a skill that tanks will have as well, and this will be used to detect threats that are within your range of perception. Resounding Smash is next, and rank 1 will smash the ground in front of you, dealing damage to all of the targets. A second hit resounds on the primary target. Rank 2 and rank 3 are just damage buffs at this point, but this spell actually seems interesting. So what will happen is you will hit someone as well as an area around that person for damage, and then that primary target that you hit will get hit with a second hit. And so far, tanks have got a lot of abilities, which sounds like they will be able to put up some major damage. But moving on into the tank's ultimate ability, which is called Righteous Fury. This will require 80% focus, and at rank 1 will launch spears at all targets within your forward arc. This will deal damage and pull them to you. Rank 2 will add target lock and hate to all of the targets that are pulled, and rank 3 will increase the arc's radius to 360 degrees. Next up is Shield Might, and at rank 1 will bash a single target for knockdown or stun. Rank 2 will change this into a frontal cone attack, and rank 3 will increase the block chance for a short duration after a successful Shield Might hit. The duration of this increased block chance is increased based on the number of targets that you hit. Shield Throw is another spell that tanks will have, and at rank 1 it will throw a shield and add hate to the target that is hit. Rank 2 will change it into a cone attack, and at rank 3 it will add a stun to the first target that is hit. Shockwave is next on the list, and rank 1 will stomp the ground in front of you, knocking down and dealing damage to all of those targets. Rank 2 will increase the damage and now will deal damage over time in an affected area, and rank 3 will increase the damage and the effect radius. The final spell to go over for tanks is called Ultimate Defense, and rank 1 will provide increased mitigation based on the missing health of the tank, and this can go up to full invulnerability, but will also reduce the movement speed of the caster while it is active. Rank 2 will increase the duration, and rank 3 will further increase the duration as well as apply a large mitigation increase to all of the nearby group members. So that is all of the spells that we have so far for the tank archetypes. Let me know down in the comments which spell you think sounded the most interesting, and also let me know if you guys are planning on playing as a tank primary archetype. So we have now gone over all of the archetypes that we currently have spell information on, and we are going to start diving into the secondary archetype augments that we have information on. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to not miss out on that. And other than that, I hope you all have an amazing day. I'm out.